Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
There was very serious news about food safety in America. On August 19, 2025, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, known as the FDA, gave an urgent public warning. They told people to immediately throw away certain frozen shrimp. These shrimp were sold at Walmart stores across 13 states. This was a surprising and worrying event for many people. The main reason for this warning was the discovery of a dangerous material called cesium-137. This material is radioactive. It is usually found in places where there have been nuclear accidents or where nuclear weapons tests happened. The cesium-137 was found in seafood products. These products came from an Indonesian company and were then sold by Walmart, which is one of America's biggest stores. This was the first time in many years that radioactive material was found in food sold to people in the United States. This discovery made everyone think deeply about how safe our global food system truly is. People started asking big questions about the rules for food safety and if they are strong enough, especially for food that travels from other countries. This event showed weak points in the international food system. It means that there are ways a dangerous substance can enter the food we eat, even when it comes from far away. This could have big effects on people's health and on how much people trust food that is brought in from other countries. This story helps us understand how a very dangerous substance entered our global food system, making us all think about the safety of the food on our tables. 2. The discovery. The problem started at busy American ports. U.S. Customs and Border Protection found something unusual. Their special scanners, part of America's security system, showed signs of radiation. These systems are in place at major ports like Los Angeles, Houston, Savannah, and Miami. They are designed to check shipping containers for dangerous materials before they enter the country. The scanners found radiation in containers coming from an Indonesian seafood company, PT Bahari Makmur Sejati, also known as BMS Foods. This detection was part of a routine check but showed a very serious problem. As soon as the alarms went off, the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, started to work. Their emergency team, called the Coordinated Outbreak Response and Evaluation Network, quickly began a full investigation. Their main goal was to prevent any contaminated food products from reaching people in America. Scientists at the FDA's Winchester Engineering and Analytical Center then tested samples from the containers. They confirmed the presence of cesium-137, which is a type of radioactive material. The test showed about 68 becquerels per kilogram in some breaded shrimp. While this amount was below the FDA's highest safety limit, any presence of this radioactive material in food is very concerning and requires immediate action. The FDA carefully identified the specific groups or lots of contaminated shrimp. These were Great Value brand frozen raw shrimp. They had certain product codes: 805,541, 805,538-1, and 805,539-1. All of these products also had a best buy date of March 15, 2027. These specific shrimp were sold only at Walmart stores across 13 states. These states included Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, and West Virginia. Investigators quickly learned that some of these affected shrimp had already been sent to stores. To stop more contaminated products from entering the country, the FDA acted swiftly. On August 14, 2025, the agency placed PT Bahari Makmur Sajati on a red list through an action called Import Alert 9951. This meant that no more products from that Indonesian company could come into the United States. This was a very strong step taken by the FDA to protect American food safety. The FDA is now working closely with Indonesian officials to find out exactly how the shrimp became contaminated. 3. A dangerous element. After discovering the problem, people needed to understand what cesium-137 is. Cesium-137 is a radioactive element. It does not exist naturally on Earth. It comes only from nuclear reactions. This means it is made in nuclear power plants, from testing nuclear weapons, or during nuclear accidents. Finding it in food always causes serious questions. This element is very harmful to the human body. When it enters the body, it gives off radiation. This radiation includes small particles and stronger energy rays. If cesium-137 is eaten, these can damage the cells inside the body. One main reason cesium-137 is dangerous is how it acts like potassium. Potassium is a needed element for the human body, found in many foods. Cesium-137 is very similar to potassium. Because of this, the body cannot tell the difference. So, when a person eats cesium-137, their body takes it in just like potassium. This means the radioactive material spreads all through the body's soft tissues, especially in muscles. It can stay inside the body for many months or even years, continuously giving off radiation. The biggest long-term health risk from cesium-137 in the body is an increased chance of getting cancer. The radiation from cesium-137 can harm the DNA in cells. Damaged DNA can lead to cells growing in an uncontrolled way, which causes cancer. Studies from past nuclear accidents, like Chernobyl, showed more cases of cancer in people exposed to cesium-137 through food. Children and pregnant women face special dangers. Children's bodies are still growing, and their cells are more sensitive to radiation. They also absorb and keep radioactive materials more easily than adults. For pregnant women, cesium-137 can pass from the mother to the unborn baby. This can affect the baby's development and increase future health problems. Even small amounts of this element in food can cause worry over a long time. 4. A look at the past. Past events teach us important lessons about food safety and radioactive materials. One very big event was the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in 1986. This happened in Ukraine. A nuclear power plant exploded, sending huge amounts of radioactive material into the air. This material, especially cesium-137, spread far across Europe. It got into the soil, plants, and then into animals that people ate. Food like meat, milk, and vegetables became contaminated. After Chernobyl, governments in Europe quickly put in new food safety rules. They set strict limits for how much radiation could be in food. Many countries also stopped importing farm products from affected regions to protect their people. Even today, some wild foods in Scandinavian countries can still show small amounts of cesium-137 from that disaster. Another important event was the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011. A strong earthquake and a tsunami badly damaged a nuclear power plant. Radioactive materials were released into the environment, contaminating agricultural land and coastal waters. Japanese officials started large-scale monitoring programs for food products and seafood. They found elevated levels of cesium-134 and cesium-137. Fish caught in waters near the damaged plant showed high radiation levels for several years. The Japanese government put in very strict testing rules. They banned the sale of fish that had too much radiation. This careful monitoring helped manage the risk. History also shows other times when radiation accidentally got into consumer products. For example, in 1987 in Brazil, people broke open an old medical machine with cesium-137 by mistake. While not food, it showed how dangerous radioactive materials can spread. More directly related to food safety was an incident in 2006. U.S. authorities found high radiation in metal cooking pots imported from India. This led to recalls of those products and new procedures for checking metal imports. These past incidents are very important. They clearly showed the world how dangerous radioactive materials can be when they get into the environment or into things people use or eat. Because of these hard lessons, new and better safety rules were developed. Countries learned that they need strong systems to detect radiation. They also learned to respond very quickly when contamination is found. These past experiences and the knowledge gained from them are essential for making sure our food supply is safe today. 5. The long journey. The shrimp's journey began far away in warm Indonesian waters. First, the shrimp were raised on farms in coastal areas. After they grew, they were sent to a company named P.T. Bahari Makmur Sejati. This company cleaned and prepared the shrimp for sale. From Indonesia, the packaged shrimp began a very long journey across the big ocean, heading for American stores. This long trip shows how complex our global food system is. Today, food travels thousands of miles from the country where it is made to the grocery stores where we buy it. This worldwide system helps us get many different kinds of food at any time of the year. However, this same complexity also means that if a problem, like contamination, happens at one point, it can spread very quickly through the entire system. There are many possible points where food can get contaminated. For the shrimp, the problem could have started at the farm itself, if the surrounding water or soil was not clean. It might also have happened at the processing factory, maybe from dirty equipment or contaminated water used there. Or contamination could occur during the long international shipping process, if the containers were near other dangerous materials. In this situation, the cesium-137 contamination was likely already present before the shrimp left Indonesia. Once the contaminated shrimp arrived at large ports in America, such as Los Angeles, Houston, Savannah, and Miami, security scanners operated by U.S. Customs and Border Protection detected unusual radiation. This was an important discovery. But because of the speed of the global supply chain, some shipments from the same Indonesian facility had already passed through the ports. These shrimp quickly entered Walmart's large network of distribution centers. Walmart's distribution system is very efficient and reaches many places across the United States. Thanks to this fast network, the contaminated shrimp quickly spread to stores in 13 different states. These states included Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, and West Virginia. This incident showed how a single problem originating in one faraway place can become a serious issue across a wide area in a very short amount of time, reaching many consumers before it is fully understood. 6. Finding the problem. After the dangerous cesium-137 was found, a big investigation started. Officials from the United States Food and Drug Administration, called the FDA, worked closely with authorities in Indonesia. Their main goal was to find out exactly where the contamination came from. They looked at many things. One idea was that the environment near the shrimp farms or processing places in Indonesia had the radioactive material. Another idea was that the shrimp got contaminated during its journey or when it was stored. The FDA also started looking at other seafood coming from Indonesia to see if the problem was wider. Finding the real source was very important to stop it from happening again. Regulating a food industry that works all over the world is very hard. Each country has its own rules, and these rules can be different. Also, so much food is imported every day. It is difficult to check everything. The high number of food shipments and the many steps in the global supply chain make a big challenge. Even though the United States and Indonesia worked together well, differences in how countries control food safety can make things slow or difficult. Walmart, the big store that sold the shrimp, acted quickly. They removed all the affected frozen shrimp from their stores in 13 states. Food safety experts said Walmart's quick action and cooperation with the government were good. But some people still wondered why the radioactive material was not found before the shrimp reached the stores. When news like this comes out, people worry about the safety of their food. Public trust in imported seafood, especially from places like Southeast Asia, can go down for a long time. It shows that even with quick action, consumer trust can be hard to keep. Talking about radiation risk to the public is special. Radiation is not something you can see, smell, or taste. Its bad effects, like cancer, might not appear for many years. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, an expert who helps tell people about risks, said it is hard to explain these dangers without making people panic. The FDA worked to tell people clear messages. They said that the problem was found early by the detection systems. They also said the risk to people was low because the amount of cesium-137 was not very high, and it was found quickly. They used online tools and social media to share official information directly with the public, trying to keep trust in the food safety system. This careful communication was key. 7. Staying safe in the future. After the radioactive shrimp problem, people started to think about how to keep our food safe in the future. Experts are looking for many new ideas to stop this kind of problem from happening again. One big idea is to use modern technology to track food better. For example, blockchain is a special computer system. It can make a permanent record of every step a food item takes. Imagine every shrimp's journey from the farm in Indonesia to a store in America, written down in a way that cannot be changed. This makes it much easier to find the exact place where a problem started. Big stores like Walmart are already planning to use blockchain for their seafood in the next 2 years. This helps to find and remove any bad products very quickly, before many people buy them. Another important step is to make our radiation detection systems much better. At big ports like those in Los Angeles or Houston, U.S. Customs and Border Protection already use special machines. These machines check incoming goods for radiation. They worked well to find the bad shrimp. Now, officials want to make these systems even more advanced. They also want to use smaller, easy-to-move radiation detectors. These can be used directly at food processing factories. This means food can be checked for radiation before it even leaves the country where it was made, adding an extra layer of safety. The FDA is also planning to inspect foreign factories more often, especially in places where there might be environmental risks. Working with other countries is also very important. Food comes from all over the world, so all countries need to agree on strong rules for food safety. International groups are now working to create better ways to share information. For example, the International Atomic Energy Agency has suggested building a global database. This database would share information about radiation levels in the environment. If one country finds radiation, others will know quickly. This kind of stronger international agreement means all countries can work together to keep food safe no matter where it comes from. Finally, we need to teach people in the food business about new risks. This includes everyone: farmers, factory workers, and people who transport food. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, is creating new training lessons. These lessons will help food inspectors understand how to look for and deal with radioactive contamination. When everyone in the food industry knows more about these dangers, they can help prevent them. Also, scientists are starting new studies to learn more about how radioactive materials get into food and how to remove them. This research helps us create better ways to protect our food. These new steps and better ways of working together will help make our food safer for everyone. We learn from problems and then we build stronger systems to protect ourselves in the future. 8. The final lesson. The story of the radioactive shrimp taught us many important lessons. It was the first time radioactive material like cesium-137 was found in food sold in the United States. This discovery showed us that even with good systems, our global food supply chain can have hidden dangers. One big lesson was the success of our safety tools. U.S. Customs and Border Protection used special scanners at ports. These scanners found the radiation in the shipping containers. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, acted very fast. They stopped more bad shrimp from coming into the country. They told people quickly to throw away the affected products. This quick action prevented a much bigger problem. It showed that having strong detection systems at our borders is very important. But the incident also showed us where our food system is still weak. Food travels a very long way from one country to another. It passes through many hands. This long journey makes it hard to track everything. Finding where the cesium-137 came from Indonesia was difficult. It reminds us that all parts of the world must have strong food safety rules. Not every country has the same high standards, and this can be a risk for everyone. To keep our food safe in the future, 3 things are very important: vigilance, cooperation, and trust. Vigilance means we must always be watchful. We need to keep looking for new problems and making our detection systems better. Cooperation means countries must work together. The United States and Indonesia worked as a team to find the source. Strong international agreements and sharing information will help prevent future problems. Finally, trust is key. When food safety agencies tell the public about a problem, they must do it clearly and honestly. This helps people understand the risks and trust that their food is safe. Building this trust takes time and clear communication from officials and food companies. The radioactive shrimp incident was a serious warning, but it also proved that we can find and fix problems if we work together and stay alert. Our food safety system is always learning and getting stronger. What do you think is the most important step to keep our global food safe for everyone?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.